For those of you who are just joining us, may not have seen some of the video coming in from along our beaches already, and this is some of the viewer videos submitted to us a short time ago. The surf is already coming up and over the rocks in Carolina Beach, and this is early in the process, and that means a lot of trouble in the next 2 or 3 insurance claims by homeowners along the coast. And one of the people who will be involved in that whole process is the North Carolina Insurance Commissioner, Mike Causey. Mr. Commissioner, we appreciate you joining us. Give us your early thoughts on this process, how it's gone so far, what your office is doing to try to make this as easy as possible for homeowners affected by this hurricane.
Thank you very much. Thank
But yes, the emergency room is open and ready to serve this community.
And so you have the one visitor per patient that was started last night, and that will continue the duration of the storm?
Yeah, that's in place now, and that's really just for the safety of our patients, the safety of our staff, and just to kind of make sure we know who's in the building. And we'll certainly monitor the storm and monitor to see if we need to do anything past that.
Did you guys prepare? You said you've been preparing for a while. Obviously, you've seen the forecast, but did you prepare it, with more resources as far as food, water, and medical needs here as well?
Yeah, certainly. We always are doing that, and we have a system in place where we can monitor the storms and prepare for this. And we always are ready to increase any supplies and food and those type of things that we need. Medication certainly have all.
It was 2 years ago, you guys were out here. We just were in Fair Bluff talking to a man who lost his home out there. And you guys are still, this community, still kind of recovering, reeling from that. How does this kind of compare?
Well, I think, Matthew, it seemed like we didn't have quite as much notice when it got really bad. But I remember, Matthew, I spent the night in our conference room in our incident command, and it was certainly something that snuck up on everybody. I think the water, but I do feel like that probably has helped us become more prepared for this one. So.
And, the wind is picking up here, and 4 o'clock this afternoon, you said, what is going into effect then?
Well, we're starting our shelter in place, which just means, we're going to be hunkering down even more than we are now. And we'll just be really monitoring everything, and that's kind of the next level. But we will be here to take care of the community.
You have generators, I presume, and
absolutely, we're prepared. We're prepared, yes.
And is there any other message that you want the viewers at home to know, or just anyone in this area?
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, we want everybody to, stay at home as long as you can, or in one of the shelters. Don't travel. Just watch the storm, and like I said, we're here if you need us.
All right, so I'm going to toss it back to John in the studio, but we're here at Columbus Regional with Terry Priest, their spokesperson. Again, just to recap, the only way in and out is the emergency room here, but they are still taking patients, obviously, if you need to come out here.
All right, WECT's Kaylee Tracy in Columbus County at this hour.
That's correct. And this report coming in from Facebook, so we're monitoring our social media. If you can submit a report or a photo to us, keyword safely, and you're so inspired, we'd like to see it. Now, trees split already from Monkey Junction. Michael, thank you for the photo. Now, it occurs to me that it's just like every one tree has some sort of 40 miles an hour and north. So for now, our wind speeds sustained in the 20s. That is a very high speed to be sustained at, but not even yet high tropical storm force. And the gusts, it's sort of marrying up with tropical storm force for many of our east-facing beaches and inland through the Intracoastal Waterway, and pouring down through Pender County or the breeze flow into Wilmington, where you see a 32-mile-an-hour gust recently. These numbers going up and up and up, and this makes yet more problems when it's dark. And so from the center of tropical storm and hurricane force winds. And so we're going to start when it is dark outside later this evening. And at that time, most of the north. As the story and narrative unfolds overnight tonight, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be one of those long and roaring type of nights. The center of Florence may be very close to Cape Fear, Bald Head Island, or perhaps an east-facing beach like Wrightsville Beach, just depending on how exactly it sort of wobbles. But we're getting close to a landfall point functionally overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. What does that do wind-wise? Well, it just continues to stress trees and power lines and even structures, because notice how all of us are involved with at least tropical storm force winds, and many of us, including likely Wilmington Metro, overnight and into tomorrow morning, get into those hurricane force winds. And this is what's truly troubling about the situation as we go 9 more to tomorrow afternoon and evening. The bullseye of hurricane force winds, if it's going to be anywhere, it would be here in the Cape Fear region, back to the Grand Strand. And then it's not comfortable on the periphery of that. There still is a large radius of tropical storm force wind conditions. So think about this. We're getting into it now. We're going 12 hours more, and this product can take us into 12 hours more. This is 9 in the morning Saturday, and the prognosis would be lesser in terms of hurricane force winds, but still tropical storm force wind conditions. So this is going to be a sustained beating from a wind standpoint. By the way, at this time, should the center be where it is, the winds will likely have reversed more toward a southerly direction. So you're going to get stress on Emerald Isle, south of Atlantic Beach, Fort Macon, up to Ocracoke. And we're still on the western periphery of those all-the-time organizing bands, but some are heavy and making the core of which now fully in view by radar. Its motion undeniable, west-northwest. So that would keep us in play for these pretty major effects for a while, especially considering that the forward motion of Florence is slowing. So this morning, John and Fran, I was talking about a forward motion analyzer at 15 miles an hour. Now it's down to 10. And overnight tonight and into tomorrow, Hurricane Florence's forward speed may grind down to 0 for a time, essentially stall or only crawl west. So that's why we're involved hour after hour, day after day. And some of the impacts lingering in terms of the disruptions, at least well into next week.
And that's what we've, those of us who have been for any length of time, and Gannon, you've been along the coast of North Carolina now for a better part of a decade.